So here we have a new fuel tank, and I'm going to check the fit before the final welding of the boot floor. The website where the boot floor was purchased said to check this before welding, which is another way of saying our boot floor panel doesn't fit our fuel tanks we sell. We've warned you, so don't come crying to us about it. Well, I'd better stop crying and fix it then. It's obvious to see the panel doesn't fit the wheel arch on the fuel tank side, but it certainly did on the opposite side. To fix this, I need to shrink this folded edge, and it's one of the rare occasions I can get my shrinker into the area. It took a bit of shrinking but has changed profile nicely, and the fuel tank now fits. I can plug weld the area up to where the inner arch is still good. Now, these little things floating about in the air are called orbs, and those of you who watch ghost hunting programs will know that they are spirits of people who have passed on. Sometimes they will interact with you. Grandad, is that you? Let me ask you a question. Do you know where the TV remote is? No answer. You have to bear in mind that when these people died, their hearing wasn't very good. I can now fully weld the boot floor to the rear panel and grind off the welds. I feel it's important to be comfortable when working on cars, and these small kneeling pads are great. No, not that comfortable. Come on you, back to work. We've got quite a gap between the rear panel and the boot lid edge. I'm going to measure this and see how much it needs to move. It seems to be out 1 finger gauge, and to move it I'm propping it out with wood. Does anyone get as excited as I do working on these cars? Before welding, I need to pull the wing in 1mm to ensure the gap is parallel with the boot lid. With no easy way to hold it in place, I've tacked a pulling eye and used a ratchet strap. Now the wing is plug welded, I can remove the strap and eye and check it's still in the same place. That's all I can do on the rear of the car for a minute until a new inner rear valance arrives. Do you want to know how to make a perfect break-off shot? Well, I'm not going to tell you because this is a car channel. I'm going to work on the near side sill, but a lot of the info has been covered in the other videos. Here are some video clips of the process. The new inner valance has now arrived and I can start fitting it. Punching holes for plug welding is so much faster than drilling, as there's no deburring to do. Zinc prime the joints, of course. Getting this in a valance in the correct place from left to right needs to be accurate, as the bumper mounts are attached to it. I've marked the centre line of the rear light panel and transferred a line to the valance. Then I can measure from the line out to the bumper bracket holes. Once happy, I'll weld one plug hole. I can then temporarily fit the bumper brackets and check the fit on the outer valance. Looks good to me, but I need the rear bumper to double check before fully welding these panels. Here I'm doing my yearly ritual of renewing the immersion rust remover. This is Deox C from Bilt Hamber, and it's a powder mixed 19 parts to 1 with water. The tank holds 227 litres and costs around £90 to fill, and that will last me a year depending on how much is used. Getting the two components to mix takes a bit of effort, so I've knocked up this drill powered mixing tool. But a less time consuming way is to use a small steamboat. After just a few weeks the solution is fully mixed, but remember to heed the warning on the bottom. These are dangerous tools. After 19 hours in the tank, it's doing a good job, and probably another day will do it. In the meantime, I will get on with removing the old floor section. I wouldn't normally remove so much of the car in one go, but I'm forced to by the way the Alfa is put together. I can remove some of the spot welds on the floor panel by punching straight through. If you use the centre spike of the punch to mark the tool's location, that will ensure you get it in the correct place. A chassis member is in need of replacement section, it seems. I've made a new right angle section, but it needs to bend to fit the shape. To stretch the material, the only tool I have that will do this is my homemade English wheel, with the stretching tool attached. 60mm wide is about the limit of what I can bend like this. The floor panel has now had 48 hours in the tank, and I think all the rust has been removed. If you take the part out of the tank, it will immediately start to flash rust. To prevent this, Bilt Hamber sell a product called Atom Mac. Spray it on and leave it, or I prefer to dry it. I then leave it for a couple of days. If any rust returns, then back in the tank it goes. See you next time.